Welcome, everybody, and welcome to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. Sorry about that. Welcome, everybody, to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the Doghouse Racing League Tuesday night ARCA series, brought to you by Trackside NASCAR Outlet. Getting ready for race number 1. Race number 1 of the chase, and I am having some difficulties having things show up on my screen properly, so we're going to get that handled in just a moment. But we are getting ready for the first race of the chase. As you see, a couple of drivers getting some practice around the racetrack as we have just about 10 seconds left here in practice. We want to thank everybody for joining us. Sorry for a little bit of a late start, but we're ready to rock and roll here in the chase. Let's take a look at the points coming into tonight, as the points have completely reset here tonight. See, Jamie Horn will be your points leader with 2,026 points. Chris Leftwich going to be in second, 21 points back. Justin McMahon, 22 points back. You can see the scoring as it goes back through the top 20. Again, all the reset points have reset for those top 20 drivers. And then everybody else, the points have remained the same. As we are getting qualifying underway, one of our first drivers out on the racetrack is the 08 of Hunter Geyer. And bear with me for just a moment as I get something fixed up here on my screen. Hunter Geyer coming down. Well, he disappeared for a second. Now he comes across the start-finish line. Let's see if that fixes things here. Yeah, there we go. There's our butt kicker logo in the top right of the screen. As Hunter Geyer currently second fastest. Brandon Trush currently the fastest driver on the racetrack so far, with just a few drivers making their qualifying attempt, as Justin McMahon jumped up to the top position as Trush comes down across the stripe. His time's going to be good enough for second. Currently just bumping back Justin McMahon into the third position as Hunter Geyer goes quickest. So here comes McMahon now down to the stripe. And Justin McMahon goes a little bit slower, actually goes a little bit quicker on the second lap, but not enough, as Hunter Geyer currently at the top of the leaderboard. Here's Chris Leftwich making his way off of turn number 2. And off of turn number 4, Leftwich comes down to the stripe. Try to get down to that blue line as best he can. And across the stripe, Leftwich goes a little bit slower on his second lap, so it's going to keep him currently in the 9th position. Brandon Lopez in the Taco Bell machine coming off of turn number 4 through the quad oval across the stripe. And Lopez jumps up into the 7th position. Here we see Matt Smith making his way off the corner and across the stripe. And Smith is going to be currently in the 17th position. Here's the 09 of Steven Bonomo out on the racetrack. Bonomo making his way through turns 3 and 4 for his final time. Currently in the 20th position with a 30-12. See if he can improve on his time here as he comes across the stripe. He runs a 29.77. That's going to be good enough for the 14th position. Wayne Altman comes down to the stripe. He's going to move up one spot into 20th. As Ken Bayers Jr. jumps up into the second position on his second lap. And I think that's going to do it for qualifying. Looks like there's nobody else on the racetrack currently. And it looks like that is going to do it for qualifying. So we're just waiting for the session to finish. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Kick, or over on Twitch. We appreciate you tuning in tonight. Don't forget that like button, follow, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out our great partners that make this possible. Of course, tonight's race is brought to you by Knapp Daddy Race Designs. Originally started as an iRacing design shop, Knapp Daddy Racing has now expanded to be your one-stop shop for all your iRacing needs. From custom paints, templates, team branding, and much more, Knapp Daddy has you covered. Head on over to knapdaddyracing.com and be sure to check out their free stuff tab. Also, our league this season is brought to you by Trackside NASCAR Outlet, which is an authorized Lionel dealer with a full line of diecast, including Cup, O'Reilly's truck, driver apparel, hats, and jackets. Trackside NASCAR Outlet offers everything NASCAR, including full-size and mini helmets, flags, and coolers. Stop by and check out their store, follow them on Facebook, or check out their website at TracksideNASCAROutlet.com. Of course, we can't forget about our great partner over at Group 6. Group 6, rev up your brand's potential with Group 6 at every turn of the Doghouse racing season. As your creative marketing powerhouse, we're here to fuel your success, accelerate your impact, and steer your brand towards victory. Group 6, where every race is a chance to outshine and outperform. Discover more at group6inc.com. As we get ready to take a look at our starting grid. And Hunter Geyer will be on the pole here tonight with Ken Byers Jr. in the 99 to his outside in position number 2. Brandon Trush rolls off third with Tyler Millette in the 94 in the 4th position. And then Christopher Simon and Justin McMahon making up row number 3. Anthony Smith rolls off from the 7th position with Brandon Lopez back in 8th. We'll find John Smith and Mike Leftwich back in row number 5. Tanner Honeycutt rolls off 11th with Chris Leftwich back in the 12th position. 13th will be Chris Leftwich. 13th will be Travis Neiman with Steven Bonomo in the 14th position. '15th, Bill Gentry with Daniel Wilkerson to his outside in 16th. Michael Dow and Jason Ross make up row number 9 with Matt Smith and Wayne Altman back in row 10. Gary Ramillo and Josh Cully back in row 11. Jackson Sibley, Corey Baumeister in the 12th row. And that is going to do it for the field here tonight from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Kathy Trush in the chat says Team Trush 23. As the field makes their way down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Hunter Geyer going to be down on the inside. Ken Byers to his outside. as the pace car gets ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. They make their way down to the starting zone. Flagman has the flag in hand. The green flag flies, and we are racing in race number 1 of the chase. Good jump for Hunter Geyer as he makes his way down into turn number 1. Just notice no Jamie Horn in the field tonight. Jamie does have a 26-point lead, so fortunately he's not going to lose too much ground here, I don't think. As the field makes their way off of turn number 4 for the first time, and Hunter Geyer going to lead lap number 1. Justin McMahon already trying to make some moves here. He's down to the inside of Anthony Smith. He's already up in, well, he started in 6th. He's still in 6th, trying to make his way through the field here. Christopher Simon up 1 spot already into the 4th position, and Brandon Trush moving up a spot into 2nd as he's trying to battle with the 08 of Hunter Geyer for the race lead off of turn number 4. And the draft not going to be like Daytona or Talladega, but as you can see already, that side draft coming into play as Brandon Trush got right up on the quarter panel there of Hunter Geyer. Pulled him back just a little bit, but was not close enough to complete the pass as Geyer got that good run off of the high side. And he's going to hold on to the top spot for now. Just behind, we see this battle heating up between these 3 cars. That's Anthony Smith, Justin McMahon, and John Smith. McMahon pinned down on that inside, trying to make the pass. Just not able to complete it as Anthony Smith was able to clear him. Move him up into the 6th position. Meanwhile, a little further back, battle between Steven Bonomo and Jason Ross, and right behind that we see Mike Leftwich and Travis Neiman battling it out. So good racing all over the racetrack right now. A little further up, Chris Leftwich now trying to make a move on Justin McMahon down into turn number 3. And Leftwich going to get that pass done, so move Leftwich up into the 8th position. John Smith to the inside of Anthony Smith. As they come off of turn number 2, and now Christopher Simon on the outside trying to take that 2nd spot away from Brandon Trush. Trush gets right down on that blue line, touches that blue line, kind of shoving up the track a little bit. It's really easy to get down on that blue line and upset the car. And that's exactly what just happened to Brandon Trush, and Christopher Simon going to move himself up into the 2nd position. And Hunter Geyer still committed to that high lane through turn 1 and 2. Then right back down to the bottom in turns 3 and 4. So you'll see as we go down into turn 1 here, see if Trush stays up on that higher side again. And he does stay up there. And then right back down to the bottom lane in turns 3 and 4. A little further back, Chris Leftwich working through the field still. He's trying to get around Anthony Smith. And John Smith working up to that high side, working on Tyler Millette as they come down the backstretch and move John Smith up 5 spots currently into the 4th position. Now John Smith back up to the high side, trying to work around Brandon Trush. Take over the third position. He's up on the high side. The sun's come out a little bit. Saw the track was just a little dreary a moment ago. That's going to slick the track up a little bit. That's going to give the advantage to some drivers who like the track a little bit slicker, as here comes Brandon Trush back down to the inside, as John Smith has officially moved himself up into the third position. Here comes Tyler Millette back around the high side. He's going to take that third spot back. Meanwhile, a little further back, Justin McMahon to the inside of Ken Byers. This is a battle for the 7th position. McMahon's lost a couple spots early. Now he's starting to gain those spots back, as he is currently in the 7th position. And our top 8 starting to pull away from the rest of the field, as the battle for the runner-up spots continues, as they were just almost 3 wide off of turn number 2. John Smith pushing Christopher Simon almost into the 2nd position. A little further back, Jason Ross and Brandon Lopez battling it out for 9th and 10th. And there's a gap between them and this front group, and then there's a gap between them and you see the rest of the field, Stephen Bonomo on back, who are all single file. You got to go all the way back to Anthony Smith, who's lost 8 spots since he started the race. So started back up in 7th, has fallen back into 15th. Now Justin McMahon down to the inside of Brandon Trush off of turn number 2. That is currently the battle for the 6th position. Hunter Geyer has been leading since the drop of the green flag, as we make our way to lap number 16. And Tyler Millette trying to run down that 08. We will see the stage end on lap 42. Unless we have 2 cautions between now and then. Right now, everything's been pretty clean. Even the side-by-side hard racing has been very clean as they make their way off of the leaders make their way off of turn number 2. Back here we see Anthony Smith and Bill Gentry battling it out. Daniel Wilkerson right there as well. You see Michael Dow, Travis Neeman, Gary Amio in the back there. In the chat, we see Richard Leclerc. Leclerc not on the track here tonight, so at home watching. We appreciate you joining us, Richard. Bonjour. Daniel Wilkerson making a move down to the inside of Anthony Smith. And Mike Leftwich trying to make a move around Jason Ross. This is back for 13th and 14th. Meanwhile, up front, Hunter Geyer all by himself, as it looks like a super speedway back here. They are 2 and 3 wide behind. Oh, we've got drivers coming down on the pit road. See where our first driver to hit the pits are. It looks like it's going to be Mike Leftwich and Anthony Smith, Bill Gentry, all coming down pit road early. Ooh, as Smith misses his pits box here. They're all going a lap down currently. Now the field's starting to spread just a little further back. Hunter Geyer's got himself almost a half-second lead. More drivers coming down pit road this time. See if we can find out who it is. And it looks like Daniel Wilkerson, the next driver to hit pit road. And we've already seen that coming down pit road will cost you a lap. As Wilkerson comes down to his box. Right sides are up on that car. Here comes the leaders off of turn number 4 and to the stripe. As Wilkerson's still getting that work done on his car. Now he is down and away. But our leaders are currently in turn number 2 and making their way to the backstretch. Brandon Trush and Travis Neiman, the next 2 drivers down on pit road. So now Hunter Geyer has some competition. Ken Byers looking down to the inside. He's going to take over that top spot. Well, no, he's not going to take over that top spot. Geyer's going to fight back on the high side. Side by side through turns 1 and 2. Ken Byers just with the nose ahead. Tries to get a far away from Hunter Geyer to avoid that side draft. And Geyer's going to hold on to that top spot. As we have 57 laps to go. Just heard someone else say that they were pitting this time. And Matt Smith makes his way down onto pit road. I think I just heard Steven Bunomo say he was pitting here. I believe that's who it was. Looks like I was wrong. It was John Smith. And right behind Michael Dow and Garamillo on call coming down. Matt Smith still on pit road. As here comes Hunter Geyer and Kenneth Byers still side by side. And somebody else just called off there pitting. I think it was Chris Leftwich. And I was right on that one. Ken Byers also coming down pit road along with Christopher Simon. Tanner Honeycutt on pit road. As Travis Neiman trying to do everything he can to stay on the lead lap right now, in case the caution was to come out, although he would be the lucky dog right now if the caution was to come out. There's a few more drivers coming down the pit road. Here comes Tyler Millette down on the pit road this time. Brandon Lopez right in front of him, also on pit road. So that leaves just 4 cars left to pit. Hunter Geyer, Justin McMahon, Travis Bonomo, and Jackson Sibley. Here comes Geyer on the pit road. That's going to give Justin McMahon the lead. That's going to get him a bonus point here that he needs. Tyler Millette still on pit road. Brandon Lopez just leaving pit road. Just 2 cars left to pit. Justin McMahon and Stephen Bonomo. Now we know, and we've seen, Stephen Bonomo stretch fuel as far as he can. So here comes Justin McMahon down on the pit road. And Bonomo's going to follow suit. And that's going to give the lead of the race to Josh Cully. Reason being, Josh Cully only took 2 tires. So having a 10-second stop puts him out in front. Mike Leftwich, I don't think he took any tires. I think he took fuel only, and just enough fuel to make it to the stage, as he only had a 5-second pit stop. And that currently puts him in the 2nd position. Again, with the stage at lap 42. That is only 10 laps away from the stage. And, yeah, Leftwich having a great run at it right now. McMahon using the same strategy. He is already back out on the track and in 2nd place with a 6.23 second pit stop. And he is only just under 2 seconds behind Josh Cully. Looking at lap times, last time by, Cully ran a 30.32. Mike Leftwich ran a 30.74. And then the drivers that took 4 tires right now, last time by, ran 29.9s, 29.8, 30.20, 29.9. So yeah, they're not that far off the pace. The fall off is not as much as you would typically see at a track like maybe Darlington or a short track. Seems like these tires are holding up pretty well. So Josh Cully with the gamble up 21 spots. And with those 2 tires, currently, I think he might have taken 2. He might have taken fuel only. I think he took 2 tires. He is currently outrunning or outpacing Justin McMahon by about 0.2. That gap is now just over 2 seconds. Ken Byer is the first driver that took 4 tires. Is currently running about a 0.5 second quicker than Justin McMahon. And the gap is about 2.5 seconds. So Justin McMahon will probably get swallowed up by this pack here as they approach. But it's a pretty good gamble right now, just to kind of see where your car handles, what the tires will do, and maybe save that for later on in the race. Got a battle going on here between Mike Leftwich, Christopher Simon, and the 4 of Bill Gentry. As we go back to Justin McMahon, we can see right behind Chris Leftwich. I'm sorry, that's not Chris Leftwich. That is a lap down car. I think that's Smith. Ken Byer is currently in the 3rd spot. Right there on the tail, or running down the 24. course, with just a few laps to go, this might be a pretty good strategy. Here comes Byers down to the inside. He's going to take over that second spot. Chris Leftwich is going to follow through as well. As we are about 2 laps away from the stage end. Josh Cully is just making his way off of turn number 2. He's got a 2.5 second lead over Ken Byers. So unless something catastrophic happens to that 88, he pretty much all but has the stage locked up. Just McMahon currently in the 4th spot. He's got about a 2 second gap back to Hunter Geyer. We'll have to see if he's able to hold off that as we start the final lap of the stage. Sorry, 2 laps left in the stage. And Ken Byers is running down Josh Cully, but not by a whole lot. Last time Byers was about a half second faster. It's about a 1.5 seconds up to the 88. And McMahon has a hard-charging Hunter Geyer behind as we are now officially on the final lap of the stage. And there is the stage caution. No, maybe it wasn't a stage caution. I think we might have had an incident. Maybe not. I don't see anybody on my screen who's wrecked, so I believe that was the stage caution. So Josh Cully will be your stage winner. Ken Byers is going to be in 2nd. Chris Leftwich in 3rd. Just McMahon holds on with no tires for 4th. Hunter Geyer in the 5th position. John Smith in 6th. Brandon Lopez, Christopher Simon, Bill Gentry, and Brandon Trush round out the field for the stage. As the pace car has collected the field and gets ready to pick up the field here. As I believe we'll see the entire field make their way down pit road. I know they were just on pit road, maybe about 20 laps ago, but we should see everybody come down pit road, especially Just McMahon going to come down and take 4 tires. We got a couple staying out. Nope, that is a lap down car of Matt Smith stays out. He is the lucky dog. He will get waved around here. But everybody else, including Gary Amio, who is a lap down on pit road, getting service done. Does anybody gamble here on this pit stop? Yeah, Josh Cully, first one off pit road. Ken Byers, 2nd. McMahon gains a couple spots here as Geyer. I think he's going to restart back in the 4th position. So just McMahon up to 3rd coming off pit road, gaining a spot. First, we want to thank everybody for joining us. As we got a little break in the action, we want to thank our great sponsors that make this possible, including our series sponsor, Knapp Daddy Racing. Originally started as an iRacing design shop, Knapp Daddy Racing now expanded to be your one-stop shop for all your iRacing needs, from custom paints, templates, team branding, and so much more. Knapp Daddy Racing has you covered. Head on over to knappdaddyracing.com and be sure to check out the free stuff tab. Also, our great series sponsor, Trackside NASCAR Outlet, which is an authorized Lionel dealer with a full line of diecast, including Cup, O'Reilly's, truck, driver apparel, hats, and jackets. Trackside NASCAR Outlet offers everything NASCAR, including full-size and mini helmets, flags, and coolers. Stop by and check out their store, follow them on Facebook, or check out their website at www.tracksidenascaroutlet.com. As our leader comes back down onto pit road, And I believe he might be just topping off fuel. Maybe for a little bit of strategy. I don't know if I'd give up the track position for that, but that's going to put Ken Byers in the lead and Just McMahon in second. Speaking of Just McMahon, looking at that car there, it reminds me that Group 6. Rev up your brand's potential with Group 6 at every turn of the Doghouse Racing season. As your creative marketing powerhouse, we're here to fuel your success, accelerate your impact, and steer your brand towards victory. Group 6, where every race is an opportunity outside and outperform. Discover more at group6inc.com. And lastly, we can't forget about both the Doghouse Racing Leagues and our great partner, Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out what's right for you. Visit thebuttkicker.com. And lastly, don't forget to check out the Doghouse Racing League's website over at doghouseracingligue.com for stats, standings, news, and more. Links down below for everything down in the description. Well, the pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Ken Byers got to lead them back down to the restart zone. And the green flag will fly. We are back racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Just the one caution for the stage so far. As Byers gets a great start. Pulls ahead of Justin McMahon as they make their way down into turn number 3. Hunter Geyer, who led most of the first half of the race, now finds himself back in the 5th spot, trying to work over Tyler Millette. They make their way down into turn number 1. Tyler Millette, Chris Leftwich side by side. Hunter Geyer already up to that high lane that worked for him so well at the beginning of the race. So let's see if that continues to be the trend for that 08 as he makes his way through turns 3 and 4 up on the high side. He's going to have a great run down through the quad oval, already up to the outside of Chris Leftwich as they make their way down into turn number 1. So fresh tires, high lane, that's where that 08 wants to be. You see the 81 Christopher Simon trying to do the same thing up there. As Geyer gets this huge run down the backstretch. McMahon going to dive down to the inside. He's going to try to take a look down to the inside of Ken Byers. Here comes the 08. Thought about making it 3 wide for a second. Wisely backed out of it as it really tightens up there off of turn number 4. Byers able to hold on to that top spot for now as Geyer looks up to the high side. He's going to clear Justin McMahon and dive right down to the bottom, try to take the lead back. As they go side by side through the quad oval and towards turn number 1. Tyler Millette, now he's ripping that high side, trying to do the same thing that Hunter Geyer was doing, and he's found that speed up there as he works to the outside. Little side draft, pulls that 08 backwards. Chris Leftwich trying to run a little side draft there as well. As Tyler Millette now moves up to the outside of Ken Byers, he's going to try to take the lead here off of turn number 4. Through the quad oval and down to turn number 1. Millette ripping that high lane. Will he have the momentum here off the corner? They're still side by side. Chris Leftwich giving a shove to Tyler Millette down into turn number 3. And Millette takes over the lead here on lap number 51. Ooh, caution is out. It looks like it's for a couple of drivers involved. Gary and Mio involved in this one. We see Jackson Sibley, Anthony Smith. That's going to bring up our first wreckage rewind. First caution for incident. And it looks like it's for little contact here between Gary Romeo and Anthony Smith. Gets into the left rear of the 97. 97 overcorrects right up into the outside wall. Then Brandon Lopez turns the 7 car around. Daniel Wilkerson able to slide by. Jackson Sibley, nowhere to go. A little bit of contact. Doesn't look like too much damage to the 18 machine. They come sliding down in front of pit road. Yeah, you see just a little bit of front end damage there to that 18. And that brings a bunch of cars down pit road. So Chris Leftwich, Ken Byers, Tyler Millette all stay out. Christopher Simon, the first car off of pit road. It looks like fuel only for the 81. Justin McMahon took 2 tires. So he comes off in 5th. Bill Gentry, fuel only in 6th. John Smith, fuel only. Brandon Trush, Josh Cully, Stephen Bonomo. And all taking fuel only. Then Hunter Geyer, Jason Ross, and Mike Leftwich all taking 4 tires. So multiple different strategies out here as we're going to come to a restart with about 30 laps to go. I believe the lights on the pace car should be off this time. There you go. Lights are off on the pace car. Chris Leftwich to the inside. Ken Byers to his outside. Row 2 is going to be Tyler Millette and Christopher Simon. Row 3 we'll see Justin McMahon and Bill Gentry. And John Smith and Brandon Trush in row 4. Josh Cully, Stephen Bonomo back in row number 5. Again, multiple different strategies here for tires, fuel. Some drivers electing not to come down pit road. That would be your front row. Christopher Simon, Tyler Millette on 2 tires. Justin McMahon, no tires, fuel only. Justin McMahon, the first driver, on 2 tires. And then way back in 11th is the first driver on 4 tires. So this one could get interesting here. As the field comes off of turn number 4. And Chris Leftwich going to lead them back down to the restart zone, where the green flag will fly. We are back racing here at Charlotte with 30 laps to go. Oh, one around. Jason Ross loses it through the grass. He's able to hold on to it. No caution. We stay green. And it sounded like Jason Ross might have been in the wrong gear on the start. Let's go back and ride along with him to see what happened to the 00. Oh, looks like somebody missed the shift in front of him and just nowhere to go. Maybe that was Stephen Bonomo that missed the shift there. Well, we are back here in the action. Chris Leftwich holding on to that lead currently. Tyler Millette moves into second. Here comes Justin McMahon on those 2 tires. Trying to make something happen here. Millett pushes up the track just a little bit. That's going to give the momentum to the 24 McMahon, as here comes Millett looking down to the inside of Chris Leftwich. Side-by-side racing for the top spot. Just McMahon moves up the track. He's going to try to use that high lane advantage. Got a little bit of momentum up on that high lane. Chris Leftwich going to take over the top spot. Here comes Just McMahon back into the throttle a little bit earlier than Tyler Millett's able to get to it. And Geyer, who has 4 tires, has currently moved himself up into the 9th position after restarting in 11th. Ooh. Ken Byers almost up into the outside wall, able to hold on to it. Here comes John Smith taking advantage of that, moving down to the inside, as Just McMahon now cleanly into the 2nd position. And Josh Cully into the outside wall a little further back, battling with Brandon Trush. Cully, though, still in the top 10 currently. Up 13 spots from where he started, so having a great run as Justin McMahon. Pushing real hard, gets into the dirty air of the 83, catches the outside wall briefly. Doesn't look like it's going to slow him down too much as he's able to continue on. Just 24 laps to go here from Charlotte Motor Speedway in our first race of the chase here in the Knapp Daddy 126. McMahon now down to the inside, trying to take that top spot away from Chris Leftwich. Down into turn number 3, and he will indeed take that spot away. Meanwhile, right behind, Tyler Millett trying to take advantage of Chris Leftwich getting out of sorts. And Millett going to jump into the 2nd position. He is also on no tires, but currently making that work. Now John Smith, another driver on no tires. So the only driver who's got any kind of fresh rubber, that's Just McMahon with fresh rubber on the outsides, that right side. Everybody else here on no tires. The first driver behind with any kind of tires would be the 99 of Ken Byers. No, I take that back. Ken Byers stayed out, so he's on older tires as well. So Hunter Geyer is the first driver, and he's got 4 tires. So he's trying to make use of these 4 tires to drive himself through the field. Unfortunately, stuck back here in this dirty air is not where he wants to be. He is not able to march forward as quickly as he thought he was going to be able to with 4 tires, as Justin McMahon able to hold on to that top spot. When we cross the line this time, we'll have just 20 laps to go. Hunter Geyer still working down to the inside of Christopher Simon, trying to take that 6th spot. Meanwhile, it's just a gaggle of cars behind Justin McMahon. And we saw this in the opening of the race too. Lead driver able to pull away just a little bit. Then just a big bunch of cars in the middle of the pack here. Run into about 8th or 9th. Actually, it's the 10th this time. Got a little battle back here between Stephen Bonomo and Tanner Honeycutt. And that's a ways back to Daniel Wilkerson, Brandon Lopez, and the rest of the field. Ken Byers still trying to get around the 81 of Christopher Simon. Hunter Geyer, he's a little frustrated behind these drivers right here because he knows he's got a fast car and he knows he's got the best tires. I do not believe these drivers will have to pit again. I think they're good to the end. as John Smith and Chris Leftwich continue to battle door to door. Now Hunter Guy are starting to see these cars a little more single file. He's able to... Oh, Chris Leftwich around! Chris Leftwich saves it! Holy cow, Chris Leftwich. Keep saying with the save of the year. He's done this a couple times this year. Let's take a look at it again. Find Leftwich here, and looks like it's just a little bit of contact there, and man, somehow able to hold on to it. Let's ride along here with Leftwich. If I can find him on my screen, here we go. What a save. That breaks up a little bit of the middle of the field here as John Smith is currently in the third position. Leftwich was running third. Leftwich actually down on pit road now. I don't know if he had a little bit of damage because of that or just killed the tires trying to save that. But makes our highlight reel once again with an incredible save. Well, the battle for second now heating up as here comes Tyler Millette down to the inside of John Smith to the outside of Tyler Millette trying to take over that second spot. And look who's here. The 08 of Hunter Geyer right in the mix as well. Back to that high side, he's got John Smith who he's trying to push forward. And John Smith and Hunter Geyer will indeed move themselves clear and move into second and third. Now with 12 laps to go. Is there enough time? Justin McMahon on 2 tires. John Smith on no tires. Hunter Geyer on 4 tires. Geyer going to take a look down to the inside. Smith's going to fight back hard on the high side as they make their way off of turn number 4. And we'll have just 11 laps to go. And this is the blessing that Justin McMahon wants right now. He wants these 2 drivers running side by side, and I'm not sure what just happened. iRacing just completely crashed on me. I'm getting this right back up for us I apologize for this. A little technical difficulty. Not really sure what just happened, but we will get this race right back up for you as we have just going to be 10 laps to go when we get things back up and running. Again, I do apologize. Not really sure why iRacing just went down on me, but we are trying to get it right back up for you. Again, I do apologize to those watching at home. We are trying to get this up as fast as possible. We are working on getting this stream back up for you. Again, I do apologize. Not really sure what happened there. I saw a couple drivers blinking on my screen earlier in the session. Don't know if maybe iRacing's servers were having some issues or whatnot. We are currently trying to get ourselves back into the stream, back into the session. We should have about 8 laps to go when we get things back up and situated. Just consider this a little commercial break here. I apologize pulling a Fox here with less than 10 laps to go. But we're trying to get things right back up and running for you as quickly as possible. And we should be able to join in just a moment. When we left the session, Justin McMahon had about a 1-second lead over John Smith, Hunter Geyer. Again, McMahon on 2 tires. Smith on no tires. Hunter Geyer on 4 tires. So a big difference in laps going to be between these drivers as we get back into the session. It is just about loaded up, and we should be able to get right back in for you here. And we are under caution. Unfortunately, I am not going to be able to see what caused the caution. I do see Justin McMahon is still your leader. Let me make sure my volumes are right since the server crashed. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. We got it back up and running. Again, caution out. I'm not really sure what brought the caution out. Trying to see if we can see... Man, Justin McMahon diving down on pit road. McMahon, John Smith, Tanner Honeycutt, Christopher Simon, Bill Gentry, Josh Cully, Brandon Trush. Almost the entire field coming down pit road. The only drivers that stayed out, Hunter Geyer, Tyler Millette, and Michael Dow. See what McMahon does here. If it's going to be 2 tires again on the 24, if he's going to take 4. Looks like it's going to be 4 for the 24 here. First driver rolling off of pit road. That is the 1 of Tanner Honeycutt. He took 2 tires. McMahon with 4. Josh Cully, I believe, took 2. He had a 10-second stop, so I believe that is a 2-tire stop for Josh Cully. And when we get into the post-race interviews, we'll see if we can get the... story of what happened there. I see Travis Neeman on pit road for an extended period. I believe he might have been the driver, one of the drivers involved here. Let's see if we can get a look here at this car. No, car looks pretty clean. So not really sure what brought the caution out. Of course, if anybody knows what happened, if you could fill us in the chat here, that'd be awesome as well. Some of the drivers watch and race at the same time. Lights are off on the pace car. We're going to go back. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to go back. Green flag racing. Hunter Geyer on the inside. Tyler Millette on the outside. Hunter Geyer last in on lap 52. So about 25 laps on those tires. Tyler Millette also last in on lap 52, but he's got much older tires, about 40 laps on those tires on that 94. Michael Dow in third. Another driver, he's got about 25 laps on those tires. And Tanner Honeycutt, first driver with 2 tires. Justin McMahon, the first driver with 4 tires. We're going to have a 4-lap shootout here to end it. I think Justin McMahon might have enough time to make those 4 tires work. We're going to have to see here. Watch for the tire spin on these drivers, especially that 94, who's been out there for quite a while on those older tires. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. As they come down to the starting zone, green flag back in the air. Great jump for Hunter Geyer. With just 4 laps to go. Tyler Millette already under attack from Michael Dow. These drivers both with much older tires. And then you see Justin McMahon. Those fresh tires. Looks like he's going to drive right down underneath these 2. He's going to take up 3 wide down into turn at number 3. already up into the third spot and trying to get more as he's to the inside of Tyler Millette. And Justin McMahon going to take over that second position. Throws a block on Josh Cully on 2 tires. So they go down into turn. Oh, caution, caution, caution is back out. Looks like issues for Jason Ross. That is going to bring up our wreckage rewind. A little further back in the pack, it looks like Daniel Wilkerson bounced off the wall, came down into the 00, and then Michael Letzwich kind of just finished him off there as he went sliding down through the grass. So we are going to have ourselves a green-white checker finish. And honestly, at this point, I think Hunter Geyer is just a sitting duck. On older tires, Justin McMahon with 4 tires. I just don't think he's going to be able to hold off McMahon with those older tires. Josh Cully, though, with those 2 tires, he was coming pretty quickly there at the end, too. I thought he might have been able to mount a charge. Tyler Millette has fallen back to the 4th position off the podium. Hopefully he's able to maintain a little bit of pace here as the pace car comes off of turn number 4. I believe the lights on the pace car will be off this time. I take that back. We're going to go one more lap. Don't forget to join us next week as the Doghouse Racing League Trackside NASCAR Outlet ARCA Series takes on the Lady in Black. That's right, the track that's too tough to tame. Darlington Raceway as our middle race of the chase, and then our final race will be the following week at Phoenix on May 5th. So you're not going to want to miss the action here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, don't forget to join us tomorrow night right here on Intensity Broadcasting as the SCSRA Devs Sports Cards Cup Series, the Tammy Memorial Cup Series, takes on the Roval right here on Intensity Broadcasting. So if you like road course racing, we'll be right back here at Charlotte tomorrow night. Jacob will have the call on that one. As the field makes their way off of turn number 4. The lights on the pace car will be off this time. And the lights on the pace car are off. Hunter Geyer going to choose the inside lane. I think that's the mistake, putting those fresh tires up on the high side. Josh Cully, Tyler Millette, Brandon Trutch, John Smith, Tanner Honeycutt, Michael Dow. And then Brandon Lopez and Bill Gentry make up your top 10. So Hunter Geyer going to have to have himself a great restart here. To try to hold off Justin McMahon on those 4 fresh tires. we go. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Hunter Geyer, Just McMahon on the front row. Coming down to the restart line. Green flag is back in the air. Hunter Geyer going really late there, trying to keep Justin McMahon at bay. As they come down into turn number 1, McMahon again on those much fresher tires. Looking up to the high side as they come off of turn number 2. Not able to make the crossover, but he's there. He's on the outside. He's going to side draft him down the backstretch towards turn number 3. McMahon out in front. He's going to take the lead away as they come off of turn number 4. White flag will be in the air. One more lap to go here from Charlotte. Meanwhile, Tyler Millette trying to fend off both the 88 of Cully and Brandon Trush. Now Cully and Trush are going to split the 94, move Brandon Trush up into the 3rd position as they go 3 wide down the backstretch. But it's all Justin McMahon as they come down through turns 3 and 4, right down on the blue line. Hunter Geyer is going to have nothing for Justin McMahon. Down to the stripe, Justin McMahon wins the first race of the chase in spectacular fashion. So 4 tires gets it done here at Charlotte. Josh Kelly comes up and gives a good shot to the back of the 24. A little congratulations there. We're going to see a couple more drivers come up and give him a little bump, I'm sure. As McMahon makes his way down to the stripe where he's going to celebrate this win and celebrate in fashion. Burning it down right here on the front stretch. He continues to burn that thing down. He's got the fresh tires. He can burn that down as long as he wants. He's going to try to burn it down all the way down the front stretch. Giving the fans a show here on the front stretch at Charlotte. Let's take a look at the final results. There you go, sliding it to the stop there at the start-finish line. Again, I'll have it as the front there. Justin McMahon getting the win. Hunter Geyer comes home second. Josh Cully in the 3rd spot. Brandon Trush, John Smith, Michael Dow, Tyler Millette, Bill Gentry, Ken Byers, and Steve Udomo make up your top 10. Daniel Wilkerson comes home in 11th. Chris Leftwich recovers for a 12th place finish. Mike Leftwich in 13th. Christopher Simon and Jackson Sibley round out your top 15. Good recovery for Sibley after that incident early. Travis Niemann back in the 16th position. Jason Ross in 17th. Wayne Altman comes home 18th. Matt Smith, Brandon Lopez, your top 20. Tanner Honeycutt, Anthony Smith, Gary Amino, and Cody Baumeister round out the field here tonight from Charlotte. As we get ready to talk to our top 3. Just waiting for Josh Kelly to make his way down to the waiting room. So, of course, we want to thank again our great partners, including our race sponsor here tonight, Knapp Daddy Racing. Originally started as an iRacing design shop, Knapp Daddy has now expanded to be your one-stop shop for all your iRacing needs. From custom paints, templates, team branding, and much, much more, Knapp Daddy Racing has you covered. Head on over to knappdaddyracing.com and be sure to check out their free stuff tab. Of course, Trackside NASCAR Outlet, your authorized Lionel dealer with a full line of diecasts, including Cup, O'Reilly, truck, driver apparel, hats, and jackets. Trackside NASCAR Outlet offers everything NASCAR, including full-size and mini helmets, flags, and coolers. Stop by and check out their store, follow them on Facebook, or check out their website at tracksidenascaroutlet.com. Group 6, rev up your brand's potential with Group 6 at every turn of the Doghouse racing season. As your creative marketing powerhouse, we're here to fuel your success, accelerate your impact, and steer your brand towards victory. Group 6, where every race is an opportunity to outshine and outperform. Discover more at group6.com. And finally, Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Check out the full line of products over at thebuttkicker.com. Now we'll get ready to talk to our top three, starting with our third place finisher, Josh Cully. Josh, you got Josh up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, great run for you here tonight. Coming home in third. A little bit of pit strategy there at the end. We see you took 2 tires there on that caution. Unfortunately, my iRacing crashed with about 11 laps to go, and I missed that caution that came out. So I'm going to ask you, since you were the only one that was here, or the first person I'm talking to, what happened on that caution that happened right there at lap 10?
Oh, at the very beginning.
No, with
10, I'm not exactly
10 to go.
Oh, okay. With 10 to go, I think I can't remember who got into who, but there was an accident that was actually behind me, and then so I came. I was sitting about 10th, and I decided to take 2 tires, and I got up into the close to the top 5. That last restart there, I was able to pick off a couple more, but super fun race tonight. I mean, I used the pit strategy in the first stage, and I kind of went from the back and was able to get the stage, and then had to kind of earn it a little bit more the hard way in the second stage there. But good finish for sure. It was fun racing with those guys. Good win for Justin, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And it seemed like I was able to get back right as you guys were picking up the pace car, so I was able to see the pit stops and the strategy there. And it seemed like tire wear wasn't as extreme as some other tracks. I mean, obviously 4 tires got it done for McMahon, but sitting there with 2 tires and Hunter Geyer sitting there with a little bit older tires. He was last on pit road on lap 52. It really didn't seem like tire fall off was that big of a deal. Is that kind of how you guys felt as well?
Yeah, it just took a while for them to fall off. I think at the end of a long run, like we could make it about 35 laps or so max, and by then you're off about a second. So, but the initial fall off was really low, and then I kind of fell off pretty steep. But yeah, the 2 tires felt pretty good. I think my left front when I took the 2 was at like 75%, and I don't know if I could have held on for like 10 or 15 laps, but with only having 5 to 8 laps to go, I felt like it was a good call, and it felt pretty good driving it too.
Yeah, it looked good out there. Was you coming home on the podium here tonight? Of course, next week we move on to Darlington, the Lady in Black. How do you like your chances next week?
It could go really well, or it could go really bad. The place is hard to drive. You never know what's going to happen. You could just be a victim of somebody else's mistakes. So I think keep our nose clean, and we might have a chance. But I've done well there in the past. I like the track. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, awesome job there here tonight, Josh. Congratulations on the podium. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
I got to give a shout out to Doghouse Racing League, Intensity Broadcasting, obviously. And then just the guys who race with Justin, and then the guys in the top 5, top 10. Pretty much everybody in this leagues, man. It's pretty fun to race with. So always a good time and lots of green flag racing. So I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations. Good luck next week at Darlington, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks.
Have a great night. So that was your third place finisher, Josh Cully. Let's do this. We're gonna pop this there. That way, at least we can just see something on the screen. Let's bring in our second place finisher. That is not our second place finisher. Let me do this. There we go. Bring in our second place finisher, Hunter Geyer. Hunter, you got Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Josh, how's it going?
Doing well, man. Great run for you here tonight. another one, kind of playing that strategy game here tonight to get yourself up on the podium. Talk us through your race and the strategy there at the end.
I mean, it was kind of a toss-up. I know they're the second to last caution. I actually did not took tires by mistake, and I think that was my downfall there. Ended up taking 4 tires and had to work myself back up through the field, and I think that just kind of burned them out. And then I knew if we had another caution, the rest of the guys they had a one extra set, so I knew was not going to have anything for them. I was just happy I was able to maintain at least second. Justin was pretty fast, but kind of disappointed with this one. I was super shocked with my pole qualifying, and I felt like I was pretty fast all night, and then it just came down to pit strategy.
Seems like pit strategy and clean air tended to be the big thing. When you were out in front, you were just pulling away from the field. And then once you got, I guess you said made a mistake and took tires, kind of got you back a little bit in the dirty air. And it just looked like you just couldn't get anything rolling. You were working the high lane really well through 1 and 2, I think it was. You were running 1 and 2 high, 3 and 4 low, and seemed to be the only one kind of running that line. Is that something you picked up in practice? And when you got stuck back there, was it something you just weren't able to complete?
So, I mean, that's a strategy I've known here for a while. I didn't know if it was really going to work tonight because of the new handling model in these cars. But it kind of worked in my favor there at the beginning of the run. You get, super good momentum in 1 and 2, and then you can kind of just carry 3 and 4, and it doesn't really hurt your tires too much. You're able to kind of save pretty good. So, it worked really well there at the beginning. But yeah, I'm honestly just kind of happy. I've had some horrible luck this season in this league, so I'm just happy finally some type of results happened for me. So,
yeah, and honest, great job for you up on the podium here tonight. Well, next week we move on to Darlington, the Lady in Black. How do you like your chances there at that tough track?
It's okay. I mean, that one's just kind of an attrition track too. I run a O'Reilly's league, and I finished okay there. So I mean, we'll see what it's like in ARCA, but no guarantees. With my luck, who knows? I'll either be up near the front or in the back wreck somewhere. So who knows?
Well, good luck next week. Hopefully you run up front next week. Of course, before we let you go, anyone want to thank a shot you got to give here tonight?
Sure. I'd like to thank my wife. She's my number one fan. She allows me to do this 3 times a week in 3 separate leagues. So, got to thank her. Of course, got to thank the Warhorse guys, Travis and Jackson Sibley, and got to thank birdwraps.com. That's my paint shop, and all the paints with Warhorse with Jackson Sibley and Travis Neiman and myself are all designed by me. So, had to throw a shout out there.
Awesome, man. Well, again, good luck next week at Darlington, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Josh.
Have a great night. So that was your runner-up here tonight, Hunter Geyer. Let's bring in the man of the hour, Justin McMahon. Justin, you got Josh up in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you.
Man, great run for you. Kind of disappointed. I kind of missed what happened there with about 10 laps ago. My iRacing crashed, and when I got back in, you guys were under caution, so I'm not really sure what happened. I was able to see you guys come down pit road, and I saw the strategy that you took with the 4 tires there, and made those 4 tires work. We saw some drivers with no tires, some drivers with 2 tires, but talk us through the strategy and the call there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly assumed that guys that had tires left over were going to use them there in that last one, so I didn't want to be stuck out there with old tires, because I know that the last pit stop I had only taken right sides, so I'd kind of been on those for a while. So I kind of just wanted to gamble a little bit. I mean, what are you supposed to do? I mean, you got to, right? So and I was thinking that more guys were going to come down pit road with me, and luckily they did, but some of them didn't take 4 tires or like I did. So I mean, I think some of us still had one full set left. So with that many laps left, I'm like, I think it'll work, especially if I get lucky and don't get put back that far in the pack. And luckily, I think I came out like 5th or 6th. So I think that kind of definitely worked out to my benefit there, but it's kind of just a Hail Mary. shot, and it worked out.
Yeah, it definitely worked out, especially with Jamie Horn not being here tonight, giving you a little bit of, having to get those max points here tonight, and you're able to do so. Good points in the stage, and then the win here, getting some points here tonight. That's got to feel pretty good heading into Darlington.
Yeah, it was. I'm happy with that. I wasn't really happy with where I finished in the stage. I kind of took a gamble there. I was going to try to run it out as long as I could, and I was kind of banking on. I think it was Geyer that was out front during that stage, and I was kind of banking on him pitting a little bit earlier than I did, just so that I could at least lead a lap to get that extra point. But he stayed out a little bit longer, so I was like, at that point, I kind of just almost ran it all the way out, and was able to get the lap led, and then came down for fuel and just taking fuel only because I knew that the stage was going to be coming back out. So it almost worked out in my favor. But I guess some of those guys in the back, I think Byers and Leftwich ended up taking tires or something. So they were able to really run us back down, and I dropped a little bit further back than I really wanted to for that stage. But I got the points that I needed, and luckily I got the win to kind of seal it for tonight.
Yeah, especially with next week being Darlington, the Lady in Black. How do you like your chances next week at that tough track?
Where are we? Sorry. What'd you say?
Darlington, the Lady in Black, the
Darlington.
track too tough to tame.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I've run well there
Don't know
before,
many
but
people who are.
yeah, it's not my favorite. I mean, it can benefit you if you get into a rhythm. Realistically, that track you kind of just have to run the racetrack and not run anybody else on it with you to be able to handle it. So if you can keep the right side of the car somewhat clean and don't get too much damage, I think we'll be all right. But it's going to be a tough one for sure, and I'm glad I won tonight to get those extra points to help give me somewhat of a bumper for next weekend.
Well, awesome, man. Again, getting the win here tonight. Yeah, that's definitely a huge thing, especially with Jamie Horn not being here tonight. Well, before we let you go here tonight, Justin, again, congratulations on the win. Anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, you guys in the broadcast booth for the broadcast, you guys do a great job. Doghouse for the league, and Daniel and all those guys, admins, all the league sponsors, Trackhouse, and Group 6, obviously, for sponsoring some of the league and our Cup League and the sponsor on my car tonight.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the win. Good luck next week at Darlington, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great night.
You too.
So that's going to do it. That was our winner, Justin McMahon, getting it done, getting max points here tonight, and taking advantage of Jamie Horn not being here tonight. So moving on to next week, the cushion that Jamie had coming in will be almost erased. I think he might have actually lost the points lead after tonight. We'll have to see how things shake up as we move into Darlington next week right here on Intensity Broadcasting. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Kick, or over on Twitch, we do appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget that like button, follow, and subscribe, and we'll see you right back here next week. And as our boy Atman, we